I think to answer that question, you have to understand why people end up in the criminal justice system to begin with. And a very significant portion of people who are in the system to begin with are there as a result of drug and alcohol addictions. And they go to the prison system, and they're there in the prison system for perhaps long periods of time. And towards the end of their time, some of them are given the opportunity to do drug and alcohol treatment, and some are not. And some, even though they do some drug and alcohol treatment while in the penitentiary system, are now coming out to the community where they don't have the same kinds of resources that we would hope that someone with drug and alcohol addictions have. And so reentry court really is to help support individuals who are interested in getting support from the court in a way that they've never had, to help them with the drug and alcohol addictions, with the overall hope that they won't re-involve themselves in criminal activity. So from my perspective, it is good for the offenders, and it's good for our community as well. For many people, it works really well, and for some people, it doesn't. My experience tells me for people who are in the program, while they're in the program, generally do pretty well. Some don't, but most do pretty well. I think everybody that's in our program does better in the program than when they're out of the program. In other words, we have people who have gotten into the program. They may not have done terrific, but I'm convinced they did better than if they hadn't had the program supporting them. In some respects, it's because we keep a closer watch. So if somebody relapses and they're in our program, we will find out sooner. We will sanction them more swiftly and more surely than if they're on regular probation. So that's a big advantage to our program, is we have a lot more accountability. And we see people much more frequently, so they have to be talking to the judge, regardless of whether they're doing well or whether they're doing poorly, on a routine basis. And that relationship that you form with the judge, I think, is a really big incentive for people to try to do well and to commit themselves to doing well. And the whole approach really is to kind of further that goal. We haven't yet completed an outcome study, which would be a more scientific approach of saying, all right, we now have a comparison group of people who've been through the program with those who haven't been through the program, and we can say with scientific certainty that the program works. That still needs to be done. It's expensive to do those kinds of things, and it is one of a number of things that's on our list of things to do. But anecdotally, I think for those people that get through the program, they do well once they re-enter the community. For those people that are in the program, I think they're better off in the program than they would be without us. And there are, nonetheless, a group of people that just, for whatever reasons, don't do well in the program and don't do well out of the program.
Are there stories, like when someone asks you how well does reentry court work, are there stories that stick in your mind as, these are the people for whom this panned out?
That's a really good question for probably the defense lawyer that's a member of our team, because I can't say what people were like before they entered the program as regards their addiction. I know that the defense lawyer, with a number of people that we've worked in the program, has said, you would not believe what a mess this individual was and how far the individual has come. Well, I can't measure that because I didn't know the person before the program, typically. Some of them I did, but not most of them. The probation officer also would be able to have that perspective. But as they tell it to me, we have people that have used forever, probably have never gone more than a couple of months without being high, who are in our program and will go for months and months and months and ultimately graduate, having not used during that entire period of time. So again, anecdotally, I know that there are people that it works really well for. They've been a mess and they graduate, and from the looks of it, as they're graduating, they have a place to live, they have a job, they have reconnected with their family, and they have the support of their family. Their criminal activities hasn't existed since they've been in our program. They have a sponsor. They have all of the tools that point towards a successful person in the community ready. And they're ready to go, and when they graduate, you've seen them, they're happy, they're confident, they have family support. Sometimes they're in the court with them, and a job, sometimes their employers come. It really is looking very, very good for them. Ultimately, how that unfolds 5 years from now, that's the reason we need to do the study, because I don't know the answer to that question.
And anything else that you would want to point out about reentry court, or anything that you